DJ Chan on the track.
Okay, last video we talked about the 7.3 OBS and its arrival, and we also talked about the channel update. I also have another update for you guys. We got a nice little shop space to work in now, so we can actually get some work done on some of the vehicles, especially when wintertime rolls around. You know, it's going to be starting to get cold. You just don't want to be out in the cold in this kind of weather out where I live. So it does get down to the -30s, -40s, you know, below freezing temperatures. So we definitely want to try to stay away from that. Stay indoors as much as we can. Keep the vehicles garage kept. So hoses, fuel, you know, things that can potentially be weather damaged, don't get weather damaged. So that's the goal here. Plenty of space, nice little 50-foot space here to work in. So we could probably get the S10 in. I know a lot of you guys were asking about updates for that. Plenty of videos are on the way for that, I can assure you. So a bunch of things are going to need to be getting done to that truck as well. And this winter, the main goal is to get this engine pulled out of here, have it setting up somewhere out here on the shop floor, so that way we can tear it apart, get it sent off to the machine shop so they can measure out the bores, so we can get the right parts ordered for the rebuild. In recent development here, I had this power steering issue with the truck. It was actually when I first got it. This power steering line was actually broken. The previous owner thought that the power steering pump was actually damaged, which it wasn't. It was just merely the line. So you can clearly see there, right there. I'm trying to bring it a little closer to you guys, but you can see that the line was obviously kaput. Very hard to steer this thing. It was like driving a battleship. So I'm a new 7.3 owner. So obviously, like I said in the last video, if you guys can give me any inputs and stuff, I had one person comment and say, roll with it. Yeah, that's the plan here. So we're going to roll with this. These are good engines. You know, they're pretty gutless in stock form. I might do a couple of things, aftermarket turbo eventually. But for right now, we're just going to leave the truck as is up until a time comes to start tearing it apart, sourcing the parts for it. And then obviously, we might try to get some body work and stuff done. I know for sure that when I do the rebuild, we're definitely going to be getting a new radiator shroud and the radiator support. This one is cracked here, and it is also cracked right here, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's just where we're at with the truck. So it, you know, as a farm truck, it definitely needs some work and you know, a multitude of other things. So we're just going to start right now with the basics, getting to understand the vehicle, understand the truck, the engine, how it operates. You know, look online, do our research, and see what exactly is the best method for doing a rebuild on one of these. You know, I did the S10 project you guys have seen, where I did a complete engine swap, a brand new engine, all that. Plenty of videos are coming out for the part 3 of the build series, so be on the lookout for that. A couple of new parts that were added to the truck. Alternator, that was done a little while back. Obviously, we've got these 4 batteries in here. They look fairly new, so we're just going to roll with it. Very weird fashion how they have this set up. So it actually goes right off the back of the pump, and then it runs down into the fender well area and actually connects right to the steering gear. And at first, I had to try to figure out what they meant by the hydro boost and all that stuff. So if you guys can just explain to me, you know, what some of these components are that some 7.3s have that some don't have, that would be greatly appreciated. I know I still have the serpentine sticker here, so that tells me that this component right above the power steering is indeed our vacuum pump. So that's helpful. So high mileage truck, guys. It's not a fresh rebuild as of yet. You know, it's got some dings and dents in it and stuff. And, you know, at least luckily both fuel tanks are working. I did give it a nice good bath recently, so that way it, you know, it's not looking like a pile of junk rolling down the road, being dirty as it is. I'd rather it be a pile of junk and at least be washed. Interior is in decent shape. The steering wheel's a little beat up, so I apologize for that. It's the wind. Bed is got cut out for the cutouts for the 5th wheel and all that. So like I said, it's nothing fancy, but these trucks do turn a profit once you put the wrench time in them. And who doesn't love an OBS you know, 7.3. So, okay, so a couple things that obviously did make me want to consider getting the vehicle was the fact that it is the manual. It does have the ZF5 transmission in it, the early ZF5, so it's not exactly the most bulletproof thing in the world. We probably will do a transmission service on this one, just change out the fluid, put new fluids in it, do an inspection, just to make sure that everything is in working order and that, you know, there's not going to be any potential issues down the road. There's a little bit of wiring and stuff just kind of hanging out, running around everywhere, so we're obviously going to address that. The front axles on these, I'm not sure if it is a Dana 60 or a Dana 44. I believe the Dana 60 was on the F350s. We can argue that in the comments. But no, this one definitely for sure is going to need some work. You know, it's high mileage, guys. High mileage is not the best, but it, you know, it's doing pretty good for being 300 something thousand miles. We'll start it up here. So for pretty high mileage, it doesn't sound too bad. It's time for a rebuild. It does smoke, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that. So yes, absolutely a lot of blow-by. For those of you watching that don't necessarily understand what blow-by is when you have your compression stage inside your cylinder and you have the combustion leaking past the cylinder skirt. Very simple way I can show you here is actually with this cylinder. So this is the cylinder out of my 4.3 Chevy. So you have your piston skirt, your piston rings, and then you have the top of your piston. So when you have your combustion stroke, you have the gases coming and forcing the piston down. Well, when the rings are bad, you have what's called blow-by, which is the gases leak by, go down the piston skirt and go into your crankcase and basically pressurize your crankcase. So it's obviously an indication that the engine does need to be rebuilt, just based off by the amount of times that this one is smoking. It doesn't really smoke out the exhaust a whole lot. Maybe that's just because it ends right underneath the cab, just into the bed. But it does smoke pretty bad. So 337,000 miles. Usually these engines are done about 400 to 500,000, and then, you know, that's if you're on top of the maintenance and stuff. So she is definitely going to need quite a bit of work, especially with the rebuild. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this truck. So, you know, it's a 7.3, guys. It's going to do what you want it to do at the end of the day. It might not like it as much, but it is still running decent for having that much blow-by. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video, you guys. If you like what you see with the 7.3 and you want to see the nature of the build and you're curious to see how this is all going to play out, please go ahead, subscribe, hit the notifications, so that way you guys are up to date on every single video that we do. There's going to be plenty of videos alternating between the S10 and then as well as the 7.3. We're definitely going to start allocating the tools to get this rebuild done, make sure we get it torn out of the truck, have the engine block sent off for inspection, make sure there's no cracks or anything like that, and then we're going to start allocating the parts. So if you guys have any part suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you know where I can get a good rebuild kit, I'll definitely take that in the comments as well. But yeah, so stay tuned. 7.3 build, it's going to be getting underway here soon. We're going to wait till we get out of summer a little more. Plenty of S10 videos are coming. I know a lot of you guys originally subscribed for S10 content. Don't worry, S10 content is plenty. So definitely a lot of that coming here. Just a matter of time. before the S10 ends up in the shop and we start doing things with that as well. So this is a pretty decent sized shop, so we should be able to move the Power Stroke forward, bring the S10 in the back, do a couple things here and there, and that'll probably be our daily driver. So, but yeah, that's all I really have. So if you guys like what you saw, hopefully we see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. God dang it!